Okay, it looks like we're live. Yay. Happy 2022, Soul Fam. Let me get out of all my apps. I've been in massive purging and cleaning. Let's see. Let me actually pull up the chat here in case somebody pops in. Did it have my title on here? Let's check that. So you all know what I'm talking about. Okay, perfect. So I know that most of you have seen, I started out my year, a little bit bumpy. And, I had all of these ideas of how I would start my year and what I would do and setting everything in motion. And then, I lost in this physical form, a woman who was a mentor, a best friend, an ally, and someone that I really looked up to. And everything's kind of been shaken and jolted. And what I realize is I'm like, ooh, I really feel like I've cracked the code on sustainability, because even though I'm in, this grieving state, and even though I'm taking a lot of extra time for myself and a lot of extra care, I feel so good inside of my body. And like, I can even feel it right now, just like this buzzing of centered and calmness and groundedness. And I can even feel it in my voice. And I have people, not just women, but people coming to me, sharing how inspired they are from some of what I'm sharing online and wanting to work with me. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, what a beautiful lesson in letting go of expectations and, New Year's resolutions. And a lot of times I feel like we create resolutions because they're associated with problems, right? Like, there's a deficit. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to make more money, right? And there's like this needing to fix. And resolution comes from the word resolve. And there's like a clenching that comes with the word resolve. Like, there's a not letting go. There's like a gripping too tightly. And what I realize is, it's like, are we creating resolutions as a culture because we think it's what we're supposed to do? Are we simply repeating cycles where we just want to lose the weight, we want to make the money, we want to clean up our diet, we want to get back to working out physically, in these fits and starts? And fits and starts are not sustainable. And it's like, we think that when we lose the 10 pounds, we're going to feel differently, or when we make more money, there's going to be this like, oh, I've made it. And the reality is this journey is about the sustainability. It's about how are we feeling? How are we nurturing ourselves? How are we being? How are we relating to ourselves and to other people, no matter what's going on in the world around us, whether there's loss, whether there's despair, whether there's incongruence, whether there is a lack of connection. And so that's what I want to talk about, is this workshop that I had no intention of creating. And this is the part of showing up, right? It's like creating a healthy container for myself to be able to feel my feelings and to transmute them and to meet them in a way that works for me, that's healthy, that allows me to go to the depths of who I am and feel and experience, so that I can then, move through it. instead of blocking it, right? Instead of my old patterns of overworking, or I'm just going to keep pushing on, or I'm actually just going to drop everything and hide and be a loner and be with myself and go into these old patterns. Like, this is what we do. This is the programming that we have. And so what I decided was to host a workshop called Beyond Resolutions. What did I call it? Beyond Resolutions, how to ditch the surface and short-term New Year's goals so that you can embody your soul-led destiny from a rooted place of unshakable trust, right? It's like, are we creating resolutions that perpetuate cyclical like imprinting and conditioning that we already have? Are we creating resolutions because this is what society tells us to do, that there's something wrong with us, that there's something to fix? And so what I wanted to offer as a give, especially because so many of you have reached out this week, and I was just really humbled by the like, wow, I see you continuing to show up, and I see you doing the work, and I see you being vulnerable, and I see you being intimate. And that's truly what keeps me going, is knowing that it's supporting other people, because the reality is I'm in this just as much as you are. Like, I'm still learning just as much as I'm teaching. But the quickening is happening in terms of the remembrance that's happening, the wisdom that I carry inside of myself, what my destiny is here, and what I'm here to create, and how I get to serve, and how I get to open up and allow others to access what's meant for them, right? Because we are all unique, and we are all not meant to perform the same tasks every day, to do the same thing that everybody else is doing. And what happens is, we get stuck in comparison. We get stuck in like, ooh, she looks happy over here and she's doing this, so maybe I want that, instead of really attuning to, what do I desire? And really tuning into what our desires are, and really attuning to our inner being, our higher self, and really accessing from this place of trust and faith of, wow, this is actually what I deeply desire. And then using the external support, using the masculine, using our minds to then be the fuel, using the ego, the fuel that drives the car. So, right, it's like the vehicle, our body is the vehicle, and our higher self is in the driver's seat, and the ego, the mind, is the fuel. What's happening is a lot of us are allowing our mind to dictate how we get to move forward. And that's why we're confused. That's why we're exhausted. That's why we're currently in I don't know. You know, I was just on a call earlier with a woman who just signed up for my January 20th program. And I asked her, like, what is holding you back from your deepest desires? She just expressed all of these beautiful desires that she had and what she wanted to create for herself in the world. And she said she didn't know. And, you know, the mind creates safety in that way. So it's like the ego, the mind, will sometimes try to keep us safe, sometimes try to protect us in the I don't know, sometimes try to keep us from feeling, right? Because there's protection there. And so what I'm going to teach in this workshop, which is 1/11/22, I don't know if it's a portal day, but it feels like it. It's at 11 a.m. PST. It's completely free. There's no sign up. This is like super fluid. And I'm just going to share the link. I already think, I don't know, 4 of you have said you're coming, but I'm sure there's more that haven't shared. And this is what I'm going to teach you, is how to actually ground into what you want to cause and create this upcoming year and beyond, from a centered, grounded place of inner knowing and inner truth, and working through some of the gunk that you've maybe taken into this year through the body, transmuting it and healing it through the body, and then operating from that resonance and attuning to that resonance of your vision, of your desires, of what you know to be true for you, of what you get to create, how you get to be in this world, and what we get to shift together. So it's a 3-hour workshop. I've tried to do less, but this work is not meant to be rushed. So it's like, give yourself this free gift. If you're feeling behind, if you're feeling like you're in comparison already, like you don't know where to start, like you don't even know what your dreams are, you don't even know what your goals are, you don't even know what your desires are, then this workshop is for you. It's really about having the confidence and the trust and the faith to move forward from a place of total congruence with your heart, with the fullest expression of your authentic self. There's many names for it. It doesn't matter what you call it, right? And I just want a presence, you know, surrender is active, it's not passive. And this week, right, it's a beautiful example of me. I'm still honoring my practices that I know serve me. I'm still moving my body every day, and I'm getting fresh air, and I'm doing the things that I know lift me up. And I'm also still serving because it's important to me, and this work nourishes me. And I don't want to move in fits and starts. When I get rattled emotionally, I don't want to completely throw everything up in the air. I now know how to create pockets of sacred space for myself in order to rest and recharge and heal so that I can show up in a much more profound way. Which, if you're listening to this, I know that this resonates, right? Because a lot of the women in this community are looking for massive impact. Like I was just on a coaching call earlier with a woman who's like, I just don't know what's in my destiny. I know this is what I'm meant to do. And that's the feeling, right? Like that is the higher self talking, is I don't know how I'm going to get there. And I know I still have some things to get through, but this is my destiny. This is what I get to create. So I think that's everything. 1/11/22 at 11 a.m. How fun. 11, 11, 11, 1s, 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 2s, 2s, 2s. And it is a 3-hour workshop. I have the Zoom link. So there'll be a little bit of everything. There'll be a little bit of meditation. There'll be a little bit of visualization. There'll be a little bit of embodiment, of course. There'll be plenty of opportunities to share and journal. And yeah, this is feeling really exciting for me. And, you know, I'm releasing a lot of, you know, like what I see other people doing, or what coaches or mentors have showed me in the form of how I get to run my business and how I get to be of service. And what's interesting is like the moment that I've just attuned to what feels good for me and making sure that I continue to have fear, right? It's like, it's not like I'm not afraid to serve. It's not like I'm afraid to use my voice. It's not like I'm not afraid. I should say not afraid, right? Like there's still fear, but my expansion and my joy and my power and my bliss and my acceptance and my courage is much bigger than the fear. So it's so much easier to be like, okay, I'm going to put you aside now, right? I'm going to put you aside now, and I'm going to move through this, and I'm going to have a proud chest, and I'm going to walk forward knowing that as long as I'm aligned with the truth of who I am and being of service with an open heart, that it's okay if it's not for everybody, because I know that it's what's meant for me, and those who want to receive the wisdom and the nourishment of what I have to offer will, and they'll be delighted. And that's what I want for all of you. And a lot of you are switching gears in your businesses, maybe wanting to start your own business, or passion projects where maybe you don't get paid for it, a lot of volunteer type opportunities as well. And that's what this is all about, is it's like, it's sometimes scary to speak truth and to have a stance and to communicate and to use our voice and to be seen in this way. And so the more that we can connect to our truth and more alignment within, the easier it becomes. And the more we can put the mind and the ego on the back burner to then be like, okay, I'm going to put you on the shelf for a bit, and then I'm going to choose when I get to let the ego fuel the car, right? I get to choose when I want to use this beautifully intelligent mind that has so much knowledge and so much experience and so much data filed in this complex system to be able to take the formless and create form. So this is the art of manifestation. This is the art of tapping into our intuition. This is the art of not needing to know and fully trusting in the transformation that happens through connecting to the body. And for those of you that are wanting to connect to spirit in a greater way, you know, it's not about going up into the heavens and the ethers. It's about going to the depths of who we are. Everything comes back to the body. So if you're wanting to connect on a more spiritual level, we get to go back in the body. If you're wanting to heal your emotions, we get to go back into the body. If you're wanting to connect to your higher self, we get to go back to the body, right? Like if you're wanting to rest your mind, right? Because a lot of times what's causing a lot of the dis-ease that's happening right now and the exhaustion is that our mind is constantly working, constantly thinking about what if, constantly not being in the present moment. So again, how do we get back to the present moment? Dropping into our bodies. So everything comes back to this beautiful sacred body temple of ours. And I'm really, really excited about this offering and recognizing these, again, sacred feminine rhythms of the cyclical nature of blossoming and coming out of the chrysalis and growth and meeting our growth edges, as opposed to fits and starts and, okay, we're starting over again. And then by the end of the year, which is an old pattern of mine, I can absolutely attest of not taking care of ourselves, just throwing the baby out with the bathwater, letting go of our practices, and not creating a sustainable environment to thrive. I believe that's everything. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will drop the link in the details in the chat, not in the chat, in the comments. And I'm excited to see you all next week. And I'll also be in touch around moving meditations. I've also received some guidance on how I'm going to be shifting a little bit the frequency of that offering and probably having it be a little bit more spontaneous, like still doing maybe a monthly offering, but really having like a synthesized, like almost like an overarching theme. There's going to be, again, like I want to offer more coaching, more life coaching, and also more creative expression outside of just moving meditation. So the moving meditations are going to expand a little bit. I think that's everything. I love you. Thank you. Happy New Year. And I will see you on Tuesday. Bye.